Yeah, I was talking about. Hello again. Hello, good afternoon or good evening. I thought I would say a few words to you again. I talked about, women and how important it is to be told they're pretty or, to really have them develop their social skills and find a place where they can exercise them and get something out of it and do what they're put here on earth to do. Really fulfill themselves and make themselves into what God put them here for and what will make them the most happy. And I talked about there was a woman that stood up in church a few years ago, and she talked about just how important it is to praise children. And sometimes just praise them for absolutely no reason at all. I mean, it's really important. It's a really important thing. My dad, uh, I don't think if he had things to do over again, he would have praised my mom more. I know he would have. It was just, I mean, like some of us we just don't realize, or we learn it later in life and stuff like that. He really wasn't a bad father or anything, but you know, our mother, she would cook. She was a good cook, and she had housekeeping skills, and how important those are. Everybody's talking about, well, women, if they want, they can be just as successful as a man and be a great success. They can go out and make as much money as a man. But what about housekeeping skills? I mean, are you a success if you do that? My mom, she used to make the best meals, and when we were kids, like these days, like it's hard to get kids to come home and have meals with the rest of the family because they're so busy. But when we were kids, we never we had six. I have five sisters, and we always made it for dinner. We wanted to be there for dinner because there was going to be good food, And when our mother would bring out the food, we would all just rave, because we knew that the more we raved about her food, the more it would just keep coming. And it was really good food. And we were all really healthy young children. We were all really healthy. And it was a time of great togetherness, too, having our meals together. And people don't know what this is like at all because I think most people don't even have two kids these days. But it was a wonderful time when we would come home. We would all come home and we'd be there for either breakfast or dinner. And our dad would ask us, what did you do in school today? And he would he would want to know about what we accomplished and if we accomplished anything in school, if we my sisters were on just anything we did at all. Like my sisters were on the swim team, and if they won at the swim team, it was a big thing, or if they got a good grade at something, or anything that happened in school. My dad, now the school we went to, it was a prep school, and what it was if you went there, like there would be sporting events, and if you went there, you could watch your kids, and you could get to know the teachers, and the teachers would talk to you about your kids, and he just loved it. I mean, like if we had done anything worthwhile, and a lot of schools are like this, if we'd done anything worthwhile, the teachers would talk about it. Or if there was something wrong with us, the teachers would talk to our parents about it because to help us. I mean, and it would be this time when we would have dinner together. We would all be visiting, and there would be laughter and just all kinds of we would our parents would say things like well, you ought to be like your big sister, and look at what this wonderful thing your big sister did, or they would praise me for whatever I did, or anything at all. And my mother would she would do things like she would study nutrition, and she wanted to make sure we would do well in sports. And she would feed me chicken livers because she knew that they're good for your endurance. They have a lot of B vitamins and stuff in them. I mean, our it would. You want to talk about a success. You want to talk about success. Church. There was somebody that coined this phrase, and he wasn't in the church, but church leaders quote this phrase all the time. It says, "There's no success that can compensate for failure in the home." There isn't any. In the church, they also teach that there isn't anything a woman can do that is. There's the calling God can give anybody, a man or a woman, that's greater than being a mother. And I look at my mother and my sisters, and they're all great. They're all great. They're all terrific successes. You want to be a success in life. You want to talk about being a success. There isn't any greater success than you're going to have in being a good homemaker. There just isn't anything. You can't have a happy home without a homemaker. You're not going to have a home without a homemaker. It's one of the most important things in the world. And my mother, she's the kind of woman, like, she looks at herself like if there's something wrong in her family or her relationship, or if they don't have enough money, her thinking is like, what can I do for my husband that will how can I support him so that he can make more money? That's how she thinks. My mother's never been a person who wants to make a lot of money. Well, I mean, she likes her husband to make a lot of money, and she likes. I mean, I guess you could think about that. You could say, she is a person who wants to make a lot of money because she's the kind of person who wants her husband to make a lot of money. That's the kind of person. My mother is a great success. There isn't any greater success you can have than having a happy home. There's so many people, and especially when you're young, I made this mistake too. To think that a career is gonna make you happy. When I finally got to Boeing, I mean, I was absolutely miserable. It was like, and all I was doing was making money. That's the only thing I got out of the. I didn't. It wasn't any fun. It isn't. And it's competitive. The working world is a competitive place. You're all competing against each other for the same jobs. I mean, you might be wanting a promotion. You're competing with everybody, and the competition just makes everything. It's not any fun anymore. And that's not to say you shouldn't. Try to enjoy your job or try to do a good job at it. You should, and you can still get some fulfillment out of it. And there are lots of people that are doing really good things. Like you can do all kinds of things. You can do all kinds of things and be proud of the work you do, and you should. But you want to talk about a success. And I like to talk. I talk about that apostle I talked about before, the one that who didn't take his work home with him. It's a great success. My dad was a great success. My father was a great success, and he didn't. He provided for my mother. He provided for all of us, and he worked. I remember when we were kids, we never saw him. It's like he would. He would work like 16-hour days. He had an hour commute each day. So he really worked 14-hour days, and he had an hour commute each day. He drove up to Cleveland from this little town we lived in, and he came home, but he'd come home and her mother would say things like, your father, he doesn't spend much time with you, but he loves you, and he works very hard so we can have things, and we can have this home so we can live in it. And my dad was a great success. My father is a terrific success story. We all loved him. We loved him for the work he did. We appreciated him. You want to talk about success and what's going to make you happy in life. I would also say, even with that, even if your family, there's so many people that don't look to their family for happiness. It's like, oh my goodness, we're not even looking in the right places. We want to make more money. People there are all these people that are telling women things like, "Oh, men are just they're stepping all over you, and they're treating you poorly, and they're taking advantage of you, and you're worth so much more. You could be out making money." And it's like, so you're not going to take it with you. It's like it's a means to an end. It's like it's not it's just, there's a saying that's as old as any saying. Money won't buy you happiness. And this is all about undermining the family. You undermine women, you undermine what makes them feel important. It's so much of it is your relationship. My mother, she loves me, and I'm not the only person she cares about in our family. She loves her grandkids. She loves her great grandkids. They're what's important to her in her life. She loves her friends. You want to be the things we don't. I got. We're. I'm trying to say. We don't always know what's gonna make us happy. We're not really pointed in the right direction, so much of the time, and it's really nice to know. I'm grateful for my mother. I'm grateful for the way that she's brought up my sisters. I know that my sisters have the same kind of values as my mother, and that they want a happy home. That's an important thing to them. There are we went to this prep school where they teach you, to be a great success. And of course, when you go to a school like that, what happens is people are always saying things like, well, we would have these assemblies in this prep school, and what they would do is they would have people from academia, from people from worked in the high appointed positions in the government, people that are accomplished in all kinds of fields and arts, and they would come and talk to us. And what it is and Thomas Sowell, when people are in academia, what they do is they give a lot of talks, and they make a name for themselves. They become someone who's famous in their field. That's what they want. And what it is they're always talking about their accomplishments, because it's like, it tells you who they are. It tells you, why you should be listening to what they say, and if they know anything at all, why you should be listening to them. So, and they do stuff like that. And when you're going to a prep school or something like that, what they want, they're hoping that what happens, it kind of feeds on itself. They're hoping that all the students are going to be successful, and they're not necessarily, but they want them to be successful in fields that will reflect well upon the school. They can say, well, he went to our school, and or they want me to make a lot of money. So when you're an alumni, you'll give money to the school. Now, I think when you go to this school, I think that alumni actually pay like donations to the school. They actually account for like 80% of the costs of the school. So you're paying. Back then, we paid $2,000. I'm sure it's a lot more now. But the money that you pay to go to a school like this is nothing. It's nothing compared to the actual cost of what actually, and these are coming from donations. But, so what happens is like, my sister, and she would say that, like, all her friends, she was really successful. She got good grades when she was in school, and she had a lot of friends. She was very popular. Of course, being the fact that it was an all-boys school, and it had only changed over to co-ed, so there were only very few girls, had a little something to do with the fact why she was so popular. But she talks about all her friends, and all her friends are into real estate or making money, and it's like, and there's so many people, it's like there's so much in the world that's like pointing us to like, and that's just the way of the world. Satan, the world is so kind of Satan's place to tempt us and give us bad ideas, and nobody's going to tell you that you really want to look for success in your home. and she would say that she would say, nobody cares about the fact that that I'm raising these kids. She raised four boys and a girl, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and she works really hard at it. She's like my mom. I mean, she just works. My mom is always on her feet. She had varicose veins when she was 30, when she was young, all over her legs, and she just worked really hard all her life. And my sisters the same way. My sisters are the same way. They work really hard, but the thing is, that, it's like they know what's going to make them happy, and God bless their husbands. God bless my brother-in-law Dan and Jim, and my brother-in-law John DeFeo, and God bless them for taking care of my sisters and bringing them to be, the successes that they are. I'm so grateful that they found good men. I'm so grateful for good men, and it's a good thing to find a good man or a good woman to be involved in and make your life a success. So, for heaven's sakes, men aren't trying. God didn't create men to step all over women. That God created men for women. Men and women to love each other, and have families, and to be all that they can be, and to be his children, and to have children for him. That's what we're here for. That's where our happiness lies. So, anyway, that's my 2 bits for that, as far as, what success is and what it's all about. And, that's what I have to say about that. God bless you. Jesus loves you. I know that we're all his children, and we're all God's children, and he really delights in us, and he wants us to be happy, and he's our Father. He's our Father. He's like, we're his family, and that's where to look for your success. And don't believe these people that are telling you that men are your enemy. We love you. We love you, women. That's what and we're glad you're the way you are. And we're different from you, and you're different from us, but we're not so different that we can't understand each other and love each other and appreciate each other. And we do appreciate you. So, and that's enough. God bless our good women and our good men. And I say that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.